Beautiful souls, do you have a prayer request or want us to send you healing energy today? Would you like us to be praying for your friend or loved one? If this is you, go to worldslargestprayernetwork.com to submit your prayer request. And while you're there, please sign up to join our team of prayer warriors. The angels say prayer not only opens you to miracles, raises your vibration, and helps you heal, but the more you pray, the more God's presence is felt on earth. Feel your angels' love as they surround you right now, and listen for the positive, loving messages your angels intended specifically for you in today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancius. And friends, we have back Stacie on the show to share her angel stories. And this one, I know that everybody is going to take something very valuable away. And I'm really excited to have her on to share this new story. Stacie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here and really excited to share this because I think it's important for so many people coming into their awakening to understand that there are people that are healers like you that do things so in the public eye with thousands of people. And then there are people in the background that touch people. They may not remember it, but we're all equally as important.
Yeah. So I can start here. You listened to the show and then you went through the Angel Reiki school and you're an accountant. And there was a part of you who thought, can I even do this as an accountant? And what are my gifts? And so I'm going to let you take it away and share your story because this is really powerful.
So I started my journey just about 2.5 years ago when I had this huge awakening moment that left me looking for answers. Looking for answers led me to the podcast, which led us to doing a couple podcast episodes about my awakening. And then I felt really called to the Angel Reiki school. So I got done with that and I'm like, yes, set my intentions, give it to the universe. I am going to be a healer and I'm going to quit my job. And it was about a year before I realized that I set limitations on myself because instead of going and saying, God, universe, source, angels, please, I want to be a healer. Use me in the way that you know and how I should be. I said, this is what I'm going to do. And by doing that, I limited myself because that's not necessarily what they had in mind for me. And it took a year for me to come to that. I just need to put myself out there and what's going to happen is going to happen. So I released it. I let it go. January 1st, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my business. I'm just going to put it out there and whatever happens, happens with it. I'm just going to go on. I'm going to stop wondering, why isn't this going the way I want it to go? The minute I did that, things started to happen. I started getting clients come into my office and sit in front of me and be like, yeah, here's my paperwork. My wife left me and my heart hurts. Or it's the anniversary of my husband's passing and I'm really raw today. And realizing they needed to sit at my desk with me as much as an accountant, as a healer. I should have known. I've always been a connector. I call it a connector. Not so much when I was little. As a super sensitive empath, you could have given me any amount of money in the world to go into a candy store and said, but you have to go alone. And I wouldn't have done it. Hindsight being what it is, I didn't know how to feel other people because I was used to being so, as an only child, by myself a lot, or with very small amount of people I knew. I grew out of it, unfortunately, my husband says, because now I'm the person that talks to everybody everywhere we go. But people approach me. I think you and I talked one day. I said, I could be in a prom dress in Walmart and someone would be like, hey, do you work here? Can you help me? So many of us, I think, take a little bit for granted our deepest gifts. My deepest gift is connecting with people, just in passing, a hello, how are you doing? Are you okay? Asking about a family member. But it's been so much a part of me my entire life. I didn't recognize it for what it truly was. So now, being an accountant, and you always saying, you know, everybody can be a healer, no matter what profession. You've said it on the podcast, you say it in classes, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm an accountant. And all of a sudden I realized I am an accountant, but I am a healer, and I can do both of those side by side. And there doesn't have to be a fit in a certain peg definition of who I am and how I do and what I do, Mm-hmm. I just think that's so important for people to understand that we can do it. I would say we can do it all. We can do it all, but it doesn't have to fit in anybody's definition. And it doesn't have to necessarily be the way you think it's going to be defined. That you can help so many people on so many different levels just by using your gifts in everyday life in the line at the grocery store.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I loved what you said. And, you and I had connected about this story before you came on. And I said, oh, Stacie, that's so powerful. You got to share this story with everyone because they need to hear that, you had this way that you wanted things to go. And
Yes.
you had these expectations set up within your mind and this timeline set up within your mind of, okay, this is going to happen first, and then this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And God came in and said, no, I have another plan,
Yeah.
and it can be, I would say very much out of my personal comfort zone and yours. And I think everybody's a part of the process of stepping out of the egoic mind and stepping more into your intuition and listening to your spirit team and God is really releasing that control, releasing those expectations, releasing that timeline. And growing up, my mom used to always listen to either Tony Evans or Joyce Meyer in the morning. And, obviously she had it on in the background while all of us were getting ready for breakfast and school and on the way to school. So we would always hear this. And Tony Evans would always say that it relates to this. When you have those expectations in that timeline, it's like you're at the Thanksgiving Day parade in the audience on the sidelines, the sidewalks, watching the parade pass. And from that perspective and that point of view, you can just see the float in front of you, the float that just came before it, the float that's going to come after it. But that's not God's perspective. God is actually in the helicopter, or way above the Thanksgiving Day parade, looking above the skyscrapers, and they can see the zigzag of where the parade is at, the beginning, the middle, the end, every little detail. And that is where our spirit team as well, because they're directed by God to help us in our everyday life, they have that perspective as well. Your grandma on the other side, your dad on the other side, your mom on the other side, everybody knows everything that's coming. And so when we tune in and we listen to our intuition, we release that control and those expectations. What we're really saying is, I know you know better than I do. I know you know what's coming. And you really start to listen to that voice within and allow it to guide you. And I think it's really fascinating because it all comes back to joy as well. There are so many people when I work with folks who are not allowing themselves to feel joy, to follow.
In my reading with you.
Really? Did that come through?
It did. It did.
What did I say?
It was just, why do you not allow yourself to feel joy or be happy? What is blocking you? And you need to go search for that, because that is so important. And you need to kind of let go of everything else. So
yeah. And when we're not following that joy, what I talk about in the first year of the angel membership, if anybody gets in there, it's in track A, is that it's a lot like fruit sitting on the countertop for not just days or weeks, but like months, when you're not following that joy and what inspires you and your intuition and what's calling to your heart, then your energy becomes very, very stagnant. And I wouldn't say it's like a rotting, but kind of, in
Oh,
that
definitely.
it's more of a hardening, right? That we shut down. And the less that we're hearing our intuition, the less we're following ourselves, our higher self, God's directives for us. And it doesn't always look the way that we want it to, but it does come together. So I thought it was really fascinating that you're an accountant, because I have a number of people in my life who I'm kind of just trying to be that support system for right now as they're going through divorces. And one of the women that I'm supporting has a lady in her neighborhood who's a financial planner, and she helps women who are going through a divorce for about $100 a month to understand, put together budgets, understand how to get spousal support and understand the process a little bit more without having to endure those heavier legal fees. Obviously, you have a lawyer too, and they're talking to that person. But this person that they can go to who knows the finances is this huge earth angel who is helping so many women. And I mentioned this to a couple other people, and they said, Julie, did you know that? Oh, here's what it's called, because I just texted somebody to get the exact name of what Lindsay does. It's a certified divorce financial analysis, helps in deciding financial matters during and post divorce. And somebody said that costs like millions of dollars if you have that person in somewhere like California. But this woman is doing this and only charging other women $100 a month. And what an amazing purpose at a time when a person is going through such a traumatic period of their lives, to have that help and that assistance and figuring these things out with another person. It's amazing, amazingly incredible. So Spirit says all the time, and your angels say all the time, that there are earth angels, and you are called to service in every single line of work. And so you can make a difference. You can have a huge impact. And I've seen it time and time again within myself and within my clients, that when we're struggling in life, and sometimes it can feel like we're floundering in water, like just trying to keep our heads above water, and things aren't changing, you're not seeing that change in your life that you want to see, come back to your purpose. Come back to your joy, because your purpose and your joy are two sides of the same coin, right? God isn't going to ask you to do something that is so far out of your comfort zone, that's not tied to your joy whatsoever. By following the breadcrumb trail of what brings you joy and what you're good at and what you love and what you have great experience in, you can find things to be of service to this world and to individuals within this world. And what the angels just whispered is, when you're of service to one person, you're of service to the collective. And by following those breadcrumb trails of joy, you will find your purpose. The angels just said, to make this clarification to everybody listening, when I say following your joy, the angels mean specifically taking action. So you have to take action to follow that joy. And as you take that action, you will find your purpose. And you will be led to the people who need your help. Just like you said, Stacie, I love it that you didn't have to do anything. They came in, sat down, opened up, and how were you able to serve them in your capacity as an accountant?
My capacity as accountant was the fact that they were clients.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was the fact that they needed that compassion. They needed that ear. They needed that emotional healing of just letting it all go. A lot of people, I tend to be a very emotional healer. When if I do Reiki, it's on a very tapping into emotions, and probably because I'm an empath. So I don't think most people think about going to their accountants and sitting down into a therapy session, but that's almost what it becomes.
Yeah.
It becomes a man who I've known a very long time was the one that's wife had left him. And he's not the person that you would ever go, he's going to cry in front of you. He's not usually vulnerable like that. And he sat down and he literally just starts crying and shares with me everything that he's going through, just kind of just lets it and releases it and lets it all go. And he was visibly relieved, I guess would be the word. You know, like the tension had lifted a little bit because he could share that with somebody. And part of my gift is just people want to share things with me or ask for my help, or for some reason I approach strangers all the time, just to talk to them. But like you were just saying, you never know what an action means and how you help the collective. So just asking someone how their day is, or connecting with someone about, hey, I know that you're going through a rough time. Your dad just moved in with you.
Yeah.
How is that going?
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference in this one client who that happened to, how she deals with us, how she talks to us, how she emails. She's just so thankful for that little teeny bit of, hey, how are you doing?
Because it means that you truly see her.
Yes.
You truly see her and you care. It shows care and that empathy. And I think it's very validating to other people to just receive that
Mhm.
soft, gentle love. Yeah.
And so that's what opened up for me when I let go of all my expectations and my control. And the control a little bit's an accounting thing, I think, too. You know, 1 + 1 has to equal 2 and it has to balance. But finding my balance is being able to have both worlds and realizing the accountant's going to come out and me now, realizing that no one else has to reconcile that. Like they don't have to figure out how that works,
Yeah.
because they have a hard time wrapping their minds around someone who they think should be very linear to someone who they refer to as kind of woo woo and out there, and being both. So it works. It's who I am. It's just, it works for me. And that's great. That's my purpose and why I'm here. And
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I saw this immediate like snap of like a 360, or I don't know what they call that, a 360 or a 180, but this total change of confidence when you told that story. And then I saw you posting and it was like you just decided to go for it, because then I saw you
yeah,
posting like, okay, I'm going to do these courses. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to do these group healings. It was like God needed you to be led on your own path, to see your own worth and your own confidence, for you to really get it. And then you have just been on fire.
completely. Like I sit here and think about the first time you and I sat across from each other like this, and who I was and how I felt, and just so nervous and meek. Now, yes, I was nervous coming into this today, but not the same nervous. And I don't hide anything. Like I think I was still hiding a little bit of this side of my life from people. Now I'm an open book. Ask me anything. You know, I'm happy to answer. And just, yes, there were things I still needed to learn. And there's still things I always need to learn, but I had to have that year of kind of figuring it all out and coming, like you said, into that awareness and realizing myself, like I said earlier, that what you do and what I do is equally as important. It's just
Absolutely.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you know what the angels are saying to tell you now, because this is going to resonate with other people listening, is when I first got my degree, I went through like a 6-month in-person training program. And when I first got my degree, I thought to myself, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This was all egoic mind, right? This is
Right.
what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm just going to do my sessions. I have my little, office inside my home with my massage table set up. I'll just see people out of my house. This is it. This is the rest of my life. And if you would have asked me back then, that was the only plan that I had after getting my certificate was just to do one-on-one sessions forever. And I had a part-time job, because I had to pay the bills or else we would be under every single month. And I just kept that going. And I was like, okay, until I build up my sessions, I'll just have both going. And same thing, same exact story as you said, Stacie. It was like God came in and said, okay, Julie, what you don't realize is that you're going to evolve in every single area of your life. And, when we say, God, universe, source, I'm here to do your will, I'm here to serve, let me be a tool that you can work through. I think what we don't realize is that the egoic mind doesn't have a say in what that looks like. That God, universe, source is going to grow you and evolve you and continually, when I say leveling you up, you just don't know who you're going to become. And it's so vastly different from the person that you were, just like that onion peeling back layer after layer after layer, bringing you closer and closer and closer to God, universe, source, where you feel more connected than ever before. It's almost like marriage or a child where you're like, I don't know how I could love you anymore, but then you do. Years, like every year, every month later, you're like, you feel that more and more love. It's a deepening of a connection with God, universe, source in the same way. That's what I mean when I say leveling you up. And in the same way, Stace, I want you to just be open, because I feel like there's a part of your egoic mind still that's like, okay, well then this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Right,
like I'm
right.
just gonna be an accountant and on the side, and I'm going to do this on the side. But I really feel strongly that your angels have this all set up. They've got you. They have God's timeline. They know how it's going to unfold. And they just said, be open to miracles and just be open to the excitement of this unknown journey.
I am trying so hard, and trying not to control it by trying so hard. But you're exactly right. When I started really reflecting on where I was going and where I thought I wanted to be and what was going to happen, is when I realized terminology in what I was writing or what I was praying or meditating on that was holding me back. And I still think a little bit of me, that little self-doubt of, I have years and years of training of being that self-doubter. So lifting that, and I feel it more and more every time I take a sip of water and I think I'm drinking the rainbow, and that belief system of the energy or the signs that I see or the signs that I see for other people, and remembering that it's okay if something comes through to give to somebody because it's not mine and they need to hear it, and don't worry about how they react. So I've gotten a lot better about just letting it all out there.
I don't know why this is coming in. It's shifting topics a little bit, but in the Angel Reiki School, Spirit has been coming through a lot lately in our live meetings, where they've been saying humanity is getting to a point, and the healing, I don't know if you want to call it industry, is getting to a point where we're going to start to have different names for different types of mediums. And they said, your Teresa Caputo, your Tyler Henry are validator mediums, where they come in and their primary purpose and their gift is to help other people have faith again. Help other people believe in the other side. Help other people know that their loved ones are okay. There are also messenger mediums, and that's what they're calling this, where when you bring through messages, it gives people a clarity within their life that they didn't have. It helps them to be living out their purpose like they would not have before. And so I think what's really interesting is Spirit's also saying to tell you, Stacie, that you're a messenger medium, and that is your gift. You help bring through that clarity. You help people find their purpose again, really helping people find themselves again, to find their intuition, connect with it, listen to it.
It's interesting that you say that, because what I tell people is, I'm not here to heal you. I'm here to help you heal yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
that's what, when we were doing the intuitive small groups, or we still are, I just missed one, but intuitive small groups, when people ask me questions or when I'm with clients, I'm not going to help. Like, I'm not here to heal you. That's not my job. My job is to teach you, to help you heal yourself, which I think is hugely important for people.
Yeah. 100%. Um, Spirit saying to mention this too. There's a lot of people who, like, if you're thinking about the Angel Reiki School, definitely jump on a discovery call with me. There's a lot of people who think that when they hear Angel Reiki School, they're like, okay, but what does that mean? It's not Reiki. It's not like going to your local practitioner down the street and learning Reiki. What the angels did was they came in years ago and they said, Julie, there's no place for people to become that messenger medium. And that is what we need to develop in people right now. So when you come through the Angel Reiki School, you're learning energy healing, you are learning mediumship, you're learning how to work with the angels, you're learning how to deliver angel messages, you're learning how to be a healer and develop all of your unique spiritual gifts. And you can do that in our 8-week program. We now have a 6-month program that you could go through, or a year-long program. If you can just want to get her done and go through it real quick, an intensive program, go through the 8-week. If you want a little bit more assistance and want me to mentor you longer, there's the 6-month and 1-year option. You don't have to know right away. If you come in and you're at 8 weeks and you want to continue on, that's totally fine too. But I just wanted to let people know, because a lot of times, Stacie, people come in and they're like, I thought this was just Reiki. They'll say that in the discovery call. But actually, about 33%, when we survey folks, of the people who come through the Angel Reiki School, they have their Reiki Master Teacher certification. And I don't say that to people because they need anything. You don't have to have any experience whatsoever when coming into the Angel Reiki School. I more so say that because of the number of times people email in and they're like, Julie, I wish I would have come through the Angel Reiki School right away. That's what my intuition was telling me. But I went through, a different Reiki program and I didn't get what I need out of it. That's because Reiki is a silent practice. And so when you're learning an energy healing practice, your practitioner oftentimes doesn't know mediumship, doesn't know how to work with their angels, and doesn't know how to help you develop all of your God-given spiritual gifts. That's why when you come into the Angel Reiki School, it's like a one-stop shop. Everything is there for you to develop all of your spiritual gifts. And I give you everything that I know. So I just wanted to put that in there.
And it's amazing. I will say, I went through the 8-week program, absolutely loved it. It was everything I needed. And for years and years, not my time until then, but it was hugely validating. For my awakening was like at the top blowing off, as Julie knows. I had an experience with someone needing to get a message to somebody else, and it was very intense. So it was perfect because it helped me realize that's okay. Like that's what I'm meant to do. And then I'm not batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of people said. So
that's awesome. Oh, Stacie, I love you. I love when I get to connect with you every single time. And I am so proud of you, Stacie, because your confidence is just where it needed to be. It's through the roof now, and you know who you are, and you know why God has you here. And I think that's what I love about your story too, Stacie. I can see when we first started working together, maybe this uncertainty and that lack of confidence. I think it came from not knowing why God had you here.
Yeah, totally. And years of having it been stifled and saying, this is all in your head. You're over emotional, you're oversensitive, and stuffing it down, because everything I was experiencing was taken and put in such a negative box that it was very hard for me to literally come out of my shell and openly say, this is what I do. And then it's been, that top blew off, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
How does it
amazing.
feel different, or can you describe it to people? Like, because you are authentically you now. I mean,
I
you
am.
just radiate Stacie. And how is that experience of living life different when you're radiating who you truly are versus I would say hiding before, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally. I don't have a turtleneck on, but if I had a turtleneck on, or I would do this when we were talking so that you wouldn't see my mouth because I didn't think what I had to say was valid. And I would hide. Even when I had pictures from high school of me hiding, and something I made was aware during this journey. Happier,
Yeah.
uh, not living fearful, not living in stress, not living in my head, anxiety, enjoying the day, going out every morning. Good morning, birds. Good morning, world. Lighter, not living in that heavy darkness or in that shadow. Just that release of just that light, complete shedding of that skin and lightness. Just,
You're a
I
whole
don't know
new
how.
person.
Yes, like I don't know how else to describe it. Just living in love and living in the positivity and not always waiting for that other shoe to drop. Because I lived every day waiting for that other shoe to drop and thinking, if I'm having a good day, something bad's going to happen. This is going to be something wrong. And realizing, no, there isn't anything wrong. And the more you live in that space, the more that space expands. And do I have bad days? Sure. Everybody has a bad day, but it's a day. It's not a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And yeah, just feeling so free to say and be and not hide.
All right, one more question. What
Okay.
would you say to people listening who are either like beginning their spiritual journey or in like and are feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know how to do this awakening thing, or maybe those who really have been feeling that call to their heart to become a healer, but again, don't know if they can do it or where to start?
I think I said to you earlier that spirit was pushing me out of my comfort zone. When I had my huge awakening moment at the time, spirit definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone. We can't learn and we can't grow if we stay stagnant, if we don't take that first step.
Yeah.
And it's scary as hell sometimes. It can be overwhelming. It can be confusing. But taking that first step, taking that deep breath, learning oneness, learning how to meditate and get in that space and connect and be open to what is next and listen, because your spirit team, your guides, God, universe, source is going to give you that next step if you slow down enough to listen. Automatic writing,
Yeah.
take messages from that, but just take that step. Like, find out what feels right for you. What if it's taking the angel Reiki school, if it's taking the angel membership, if it's something completely different, but just getting out there and knowing that you're completely supported, even if you're like wrapped in that fear and that doubt and what's my family going to think, or if you have family members that don't believe you, it's all gonna it all works out. It's all going to be okay. It's part of the journey. It really is part of the journey. And you get to be not covering your mouth and your neck, and I refer to it as raising my freak flag and just being you and authentic and free. So I just take the step.
I love it. That's the word. It's freedom.
It's
You feel
freedom.
freedom every single day because you get to be all of who you are.
Yeah, yeah. And the
Oh,
rest falls into place.
Stacie, I love this. Thank you so much for being on. And I just want to say again, I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Thank
proud of how
you.
far you've come.
And thank you for your help in this journey and letting me share with people today. I just felt really called. And when I get called, it's that you got to do this. You got to do this. And it doesn't go away until I finally get out there and do what Spirit's asking me to do, because there's always a reason, whether it's what I need, what you need, what somebody listening needs. But so I appreciate it.
Oh, of course. All my love to you,
To
Stacie.
you as well.
Yes. To everybody listening, we are looking for your angel stories. If you want to share, go over to juliejancius@gmail.com. Email us over there your stories. That's juliejancius@gmail.com. And we would love, love, love to have you on the show. Thanks, friends. Thank you, Stacie.
Thank you.
Beautiful soul, thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Julie. You know I'm all about connecting you with messages from your angels and loved ones on the other side. If you've been listening today and you're super excited and just have to know which angels are around you right now, who's connecting with you, and what messages they have for you, go to theangelmedium.com. Register for a session. You can do a reading with me or a member of my team, and we can help you in making sure that your angels are doing the very best they can to support you and guide you to your best life. If this sounds like you, virtual sessions, they're only offered on my website. Sign up today. And if you're the person who's really excited, you can sign up for my Angel Reiki School to become a certified angel messenger. That's for the healers among us who feel called to grow their intuition to the max and serve humanity with their gifts. You'll learn Reiki, mediumship, how to deliver angel messages, and how to get clients. That's the Angel Reiki School at theangelmedium.com or DM me on Instagram at Angel Podcast with any questions. Before you go, connect with your angels by placing your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. Imagine a doorway filled with God's unconditional love is right in front of you. Step into that love and feel it as it fills your body, chakras, and auric field. Now ask your angels, what would you have me know today? And open yourself to the positive, loving messages they have just for you.